What's this? Is it a laser-guided smart missile? No. It's what deadlines sound like to Sir John Chilcot. Chilcot's approaching his report with all the enthusiasm and urgency of a goth on his way to a swimming gala. Now, I'm not sure exactly why Chilcot is taking as long as he is over this inquiry. My guess is Chilcot signed on to Netflix and he's in a Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, Orange is the New Black spiral, and he'll pop out the other side in March when he tries to make sense of Season 2 of Homeland. What? Why? Or it may be that making sense of all that happened leading up to the war in Iraq is complicated and nuanced and involves meticulous study of all the facts, and that inevitably takes as long as it takes, and it's more important to get at the truth than satisfy the demands of the mob. But that leaves me almost no room to speculate wildly and take the piss. So, I was very, very strongly against the 2003 war in Iraq. I mean, obviously, I feel pretty foolish about that now. Very naive of me to think that hubris, greed, religious conviction and misplaced patriotism would be in any way flawed motives for a massive, ill-prepared foreign conflict. I feel like an absolute chump. The main thing is, it's all fine now. And no, the weapons of mass destruction that could make it to Britain in 45 minutes haven't been found yet. But they will be. They're probably under a thing. Or in a box with the Christmas decorations. Do you know where I think they'll be? They'll be in the last place you look. The point is, there's now democratic stability in the region, and where our tremendous freedom-bringing victory left off, Islamic State have picked up and run with a similar theme based more on murder, rape, enslavement, and the occasional reference to the Quran to make it all seem justifiable and important. It's quite probable that some version of Islamic State would have risen up anyway, as my grandmother always used to say, floaters will float in the end, for that is what floaters do. She was a wise woman, and she knew a floater when she saw one. But did the wild instability we helped to inflame in the region make Islamic State more likely and intense? Duh, is the Pope a Catholic? Which, weirdly, has become quite a legitimate question. Now, part of the issue with the report is this thing where those it's critical of get a chance to respond before it's published.
So we therefore conclude that the basis for the war was false, the evidence supporting the conflict was too thin to be relied upon, and those who made the decisions should be held to account for their recklessness, and much of the bloodshed we have seen is their responsibility.
Right, OK. Now, put that bit in, the bit I wrote. Go on, do that bit.
But they didn't do anything wrong,
yes.
And they were doing the best they could at the time, and anyway, it's all water under the bridge, and you don't know, man, you weren't there.
Yep.
So, that all seems fine.
Look at the evidence, ask the questions, cross-examine the witnesses, publish the report, and then let them respond. Anything else looks like putting what's left of the cart before the smouldering stumps where the horse used to be before it was blown up and turned into Tesco Freedom Burgers. The cost of the inquiry was estimated at £2.3 million in 2010, which seems a lot, and then rose to £7.5 million in 2013 to more than £9 million now. I haven't seen a bill go up that quickly since my kids learned my login on iTunes and downloaded Mindbird's Angry Crush Flaps. Now, the Chilcot report has run into problems concerning how much of the correspondence between Bush and Blair at the time it is appropriate to publish now. To be honest, the correspondence I both want and expect to see are the letters that simply say, "Yo, Blair, we're going to war. You don't have to come, but Big Dick Cheney says if you don't, it's because you're a pussy and you love Saddam and he tried to kill my daddy. So are you coming to play soldiers with me or not? W, I'm the president."
George, hi. Yeah, look, I phoned God. Cherie had his mobile number, and, well, basically says it's fine, so yeah, count us in. Yours, T. Blair, available for after-dinner speeches, corporate events, meet and greets, supermarket openings, book signings, mine or indeed anybody else's, pantos, selfies, late-night online premium rate chat rooms.
They're the letters we expect to see. Chilcot's will actually be the third inquiry related to the Iraq War. There was Butler, Hutton and now Chilcot, and Peter Jackson has bought the rights and plans to make 9 very long and tedious films of all 3 where some CGI dwarves sing a song about dragons of mass destruction and Blair dresses as an elven king and gives a speech about how seriously he took the responsibility for his decision at the time. That one's called The Desolation of Smug. The Butler report did conclude that...
More weight was placed on the intelligence than it could bear.
Bit like Russell Brand on Newsnight, then. It also said that...
Judgments had stretched available intelligence to the outer limits.
Which you'd think would be enough to discredit the whole thing, but they said from the start it wasn't about blame, so it was as pointless and baffling as an episode of Deal or No Deal. What's in the box? Saddam Hussein's head and a bit of oil. Hooray, we all win. And then there was a Hutton report, which, if I remember rightly, basically concluded that the war was mostly the BBC's responsibility, and anyway it's mostly repeats and Downton's on ITV, and that's perfectly good. So in some months, when almost no one cares anymore, after the election, we'll see a report from Chilcot, and it will be conclusive and thorough, and finally, the families of all those who died in the conflict will know exactly how it came about. And if that is not the case, we can always have another inquiry into this inquiry, and then another inquiry into that one, until we all disappear up our own sexy dossier. Thank you.